Fantastic. Okay, so welcome everyone to our very first Bespoke, My Thermomix My Way session. What we're going to do is we're just going to have a very casual look at how we can bring a recipe community recipe over to the Cookidoo platform. Okay, we're going to take it, it's very, very basic. So we're going to take one of my recipes. I thought, why not? It is a delicious pine lime sublime, which is a pineapple version of the Fruity Dream. And it's quite quick because it's only got a few steps. So I thought that might be a nice one to show you to begin with. But the premise of Cookidoo, My Thermomix My Way, all about what customers have been asking us for years. Can we put our own recipes on the Thermomix? And yes, the answer is yes, you can. Can we change existing Thermomix recipes? Yes, you can. So it's very exciting. Now, for those of you 31 owners, if you don't have Cookidoo, or even some of you 5 owners may not have Cookidoo, I'm assuming you all know at least of Cookidoo. You know what it is? Looking for nods. Does anyone not know what Cookidoo is? Please speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, so everyone knows that Cookidoo is our online recipe platform, and you can go on and get digital recipes that have been triple tested by our Thermomix chefs from all around the world. There's something like 76,000 recipes. There is a plethora of things to try. I've constantly got mine set on the world and all English because I'm not fortunate enough to speak any other language fluently. But if your heritage is from another country and you speak that language, you could change your filters to incorporate those recipes as well, which is pretty exciting. So that's Cookidoo in a nutshell. So basically, I think the main exciting feature of the Cookidoo 3.0 is that you can now add your own recipes. Okay, before you've always been tied to just the Thermomix approved recipes, and they all come out of Germany. So it is quite a process to get recipes and cookbooks loaded up through Vorwerk. And that's why I kind of didn't really see it happening. But I don't know, these tech heads have come up with the magic to make it happen. So that's what we're going to walk through right now. Now, just to give you a precursor, those with the TM5, you can actually get other recipes loaded onto your Cookidoo account. However, you are not able to follow the guided cooking on your Thermomix directly. Okay, only the TM6 can do that. So that's kind of something I want to put out there early on. If you are a 5 or a 31 owner and you don't have Cookidoo, the good news is we have got a 30-day free trial. So you can jump onto, and maybe one of my girls will type this into the chat, cookidoo.com.au, sorry, and you can register for a 30-day free trial and have a play with it. It's really the best way to come to grips with it. I'm a very visual person and I like to be able to see how it all comes together, how you can search for recipes, how you can save recipes and do your meal planning, create shopping lists, and even order your ingredients. Pretty snazzy. All right, so I'm going to assume that everyone's au fait with the general concept of Cookidoo. I've only given you a very brief overview, and should that be different, you know, please just yell out at any time. And the girls are on to answer any questions you might pop in the chat box too. I'm not going to be watching the chat box. All right, so we are going to share the screen, and I am looking for, bear with me. That's what I want. So for those of you, maybe some of you TM5 and TM6 owners don't even know what the recipe community is. The recipe community was what we used to use, and it's a place for Thermomix recipes as well, dating back to the 31 and the 21. However, the difference is they're not all tested recipes. So these recipes haven't been tested by our Thermomix chefs. So you're taking a little bit of a risk. Having said that, there are some bonza recipes in here, some real rippers. This is one that I uploaded, I think, back in, here we go, 2015. I think it was one of my first recipes for my Go Get It talk. So long time ago. And it is delicious. So I'm hoping you might even try it after this. So rather than reinventing the wheel, I go into the recipe community, which is under recipes in the Thermomix website, or you can see here recipecommunity.com.au, and that will bring up the recipe community. And there are, look, I've lost track of how many thousands of recipes there are on here, but there are a lot. You will find recipes in here that Kath's loaded up and other consultants in my team have loaded, usually when they're doing their go-getters talks, or if customers have asked, oh, I want that recipe. It's kind of a nice way to store those recipes. And up until 3.0 was introduced, we couldn't actually load them onto Cookidoo, but look here, we've got this special button, add to Cookidoo. Pretty cool. So I'll just quickly show you Cookidoo. We're going to explore. I think I'm not going to go into a big explanation of Cookidoo, but that's where you search your recipes. And at the moment, that recipe from the recipe community is not on my Cookidoo, and I want it to be because I actually really like this dessert. It's really yummy. Okay, so I'm going to press add to Cookidoo. And it's saying add to Cookidoo from the recipe community. And that is what I want to do. So I'm going to hit confirm. Now, for those of you who have a 5 or a 6 and you know how to do the guided cooking, there is a bit of a knack to it. So the way I keyed this into the recipe community was just step by step. But to get it to appear correctly on my Thermomix, I do need to do some editing. I don't have to. I can just leave it in the format that it is at the moment. And see, it now looks like a Cookidoo recipe. So it's got our ingredients and it's got all the steps, but the steps are not, you know, step by step. It's just one step. So if we want to change that, which we do, we actually go into edit. Has anyone got any questions so far? Are you following me? Hope so. Okay. So we want to add our lime leaves. This is the first step. Happy with that. Then our second step, we want to weigh in our sugar. So I'm going to hit the scales and I'm going to select 80 grams of sugar and add that as a step. And I'm happy with that. So now I can take, whoops, and take that manual bit out because we have got the correct step there. So it's going to set the scales up when we get to that point on the Thermomix that it will weigh in 80 grams and it will tell you the step by step. Does that make sense? So in this recipe, you can either use raw sugar and egg whites.
Yes, sorry, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are you currently, like when you're doing the edit, are you on the actual Thermomix?
No, you've got to do it on a device. It's easier to do on a laptop.
Okay.
You can't do it on the Thermomix. But once I confirm this, I'll be able to access it on the Thermomix.
Right. Okay. So you're on the device now, and then when it's
correct,
confirmed, it transfers across.
Yes. Great question. So sorry, I didn't make that clear.
No, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. No. That's a good question. So with this recipe, it says that you can use either 100 grams of meringues or to raw egg whites. Now, some people don't like to use raw egg whites, you know, if you're pregnant or whatnot. There is some risk with that. So using meringues is a good substitute. So I'm just going to leave that 80 grams of raw sugar or meringues, if using, into the mixing bowl with the MC in place. So that's that step. It's going to be a weigh-in step. This one is going to be a cooking step. So I need to add in 15 seconds. Hang on. What was it? 15 seconds, speed 10. So here, we're going to add in 15 seconds, and my num lock is off. Exciting. No temperature, speed 10. Okay, and then we just click the tick when it's there. And that's that step done. Basically, if the lime leaves are still too big, because we're milling, so we want the icing sugar and the icing sugar and the kaffir lime leaves to mill together and create sort of a fine powder if possible. So if they're still too big, we'll then do it again. So just repeat step 3.
Sorry,
and you
Tess.
know you've got the go back button on your Thermomix, so you'll be able to go back and do that step again. Was there a question?
Yeah, Tess, can I just jump in? So can I just ask, sorry, are you in your original recipe or are you in the Cookidoo recipe that you've already converted across?
Okay, I was in the recipe community.
Yep, and you added it.
Oops,
yep.
Back here, and I hit add to Cookidoo, and that has now taken me into Cookidoo. So I'm in Cookidoo, and I'm adjusting the recipe.
Perfect. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yep, yep.
I'm really wrapped with the questions because it's the best way to learn. Yep. Okay, so still too big, repeat. Scrape down the side of your bowl. That's a typical step. So I will leave that as one step. Obviously, I would pretty it up a bit more than this, but I'm trying to make it relatively quick for you. Add your frozen pineapple. So I think we had to wait for that. So I'm going to insert the scale there, and I'm going to click on the 600 grams of frozen pineapple. So add 600 grams of frozen pineapple, can be freshly frozen. So if you want to, you can cut it up and freeze it yourself if you want to use fresh pineapple, but you would need to freeze it on a flat tray without it sticking together so that it's not just going to become one big chunk. All right, so add 600 grams of pineapple. Oh, I did say it would be clunky. And then we want to add the lime or lemon juice. Now up here it says either the juice of a lime. What I normally do is I don't like using half of anything. I would just grab a lime, cut the pith and the peel off with a knife. So top and tail, and then cut the rest of it off with a knife and throw the whole thing in. But that's just me. So, and the egg whites if using. And then, so you see how it's all step by step, so it's going to show up correctly on our Thermomix. So we're going to mix 40 seconds, speed 6 or 7. So we need to use our cooking setting. 40 seconds, no temperature. And we're going to go, I'll go 7.
When you're going down to your next step, are you just hitting enter for it to go down?
Yep. I am. Great. Another great question. Thank you. Until well crushed. I can take that manual and the spelling mistake out. Until well crushed. And then Press enter. We insert the butterfly whisk. And we're going to whip for 40 seconds on speed 4. You can do it longer if you want it extra fluffy, but you never go over speed 4 with your butterfly in, because butterflies have 4 wings, remember? Okay, so whip for 40 seconds, speed 4. Why did it go there? Sorry. Orange or silky smooth without the measuring cup, because you want to aerate it. You're creating like a meringue effect. So if you take your measuring cup off during this step, it'll suck more air into the mixture and it will make it extra fluffy and yummy and delicious. And then we've just got, yes, serve immediately. I don't know why it's still got that there. And I will fix that spelling mistake as well. So serve immediately and freeze any leftovers in a shallow container such as a slice keeper. And that way, if it freezes too hard, you can just scoop it out really quickly and whiz it again with your butterfly and make it fluffy again. Okay. Now, one other thing, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to hit confirm. So it's got all my steps in there, but it didn't bring over my hints and tips. So I'm going to go back to the recipe community and I'm going to copy my hints and tips. So I've just basically said the sweeter the pineapple, the more you can reduce the sugar content. Best to buy pineapples when they are in season to reduce cost, and so you support Australian grown. Cut them up and store them in pre-weighed Ziploc bags in your freezer for when they are out of season and costly. Costco do sell large 1.6 kilo bags of frozen pineapples for between $11 and $12, but sadly they are not Australian. Okay, so that's just a little bit of extra information I am giving you.
Sorry, Tess.
Yeah.
Does that normally, with the tips, does that normally not go over? Do you normally have to copy and paste it in, or?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure. But I did notice it when I was just doing a bit of a practice run beforehand that it didn't come over. So yeah, the hints and tips, they're gold. All right. So do copy them over.
Yeah, good to double check.
That will be something that I'll be feeding back to Orvec to make sure that they do copy the hints and tips. So now we hit done, and you can see there is my pine lime sublime fruity dream. So that's been loaded up. These are other recipes that I have loaded from the recipe community onto Cookidoo, so that I no longer have to go looking in recipe community. They're there ready for me to use. And of course, you would not be surprised to see the Bailey's Irish cream recipe there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I haven't made that yet, but I've heard it's amazing. And here we have Catherine Day's beautiful bickies. They are scrumptious. So I had to save that there too. And of course, Edna's lemon curd tea cake is a ripper. Got some baby Christmas cakes or puddings. They're pretty handy to steam in the Varoma. So I've really only just started. And this is what we're having for dinner tonight. My 16-year-old son is actually making it while I'm sitting here. The crispy fried chicken, which is probably, I think, one of the most cooked recipes on the recipe community. So that's in there too. So now we go into the recipe. And I can add it to my week, add it to my shopping list. So it just makes things so much easier. I can't tell you what a game changer it is. It's fantastic. You can go in and edit the recipe if you want to, or delete it, because with the TM6, you can only add 100 recipes, but you know, that's a lot. 100 is a lot. So if you decide you want to add some and you're getting a bit full, you can take some off that you find you're not making. Does that make sense? And there are all my steps. It says it was imported by me. The thing we do need to be mindful of is that we only import recipes from public forums. So we need to be careful of copyright. So you can't go copying recipes onto 3.0 if they are, you know, like published by somebody else and have copyright rules attached to them. Because once a recipe goes into Cookidoo, it is owned by Volvet and they can reproduce it, I guess, and it wouldn't be fair to enable them to do that by us loading up recipes that are protected by copyright.
Tess, can you see each other's Cookidoo recipes once you add them in? Like if you add something, can I see it?
No,
Okay.
we have fed that back, that the ability to be able to share recipes would be fantastic. So, you know, maybe that's Cookidoo 4.0. We can only hope. So what do you think, ladies? We are all ladies, aren't we? I hope.
Can I ask another quick question?
Sure.
So if you had a recipe that you had written down yourself, can you do that the same way that you've just done it? Obviously, you can't import it. You'd have to do it right from the start. But can you do the same sort of method?
Have a try. I actually haven't done that myself yet, Cheryl, but what the heck? Let's have a crack at it.
You can,
So,
Tess. You
yes,
can.
I thought you can.
Yep.
So you go into my recipes and you see down here, typically if you've created collections, they're all there. But these recipes turn up in created collections, okay? And see how we've got the plus dot here? We go plus. If you want to import the recipe, which is what we just did, or if you want to create the recipe, you hit create recipe.
Okay.
Let's see what it does. It's not playing.
You've got to put your cursor on create. That's it.
Thought I did. So you might say, I don't know. Cheryl's pudding. And we go create, and you add your recipe in. You can add an image, a photo of your recipe, and you add it all in from there. So you start with your ingredients and then you add your steps and your hints and tips. And then it's there for good. So if you lose that scrappy bit of paper with butter stains all over it because you've used it 100 times, it's here.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Really good.
What do we all think?
It's fantastic.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
good.
so it's a little bit clunky and you need to change it so that it will read correctly on your Thermomix. But having said that, I know Kath and I have both uploaded the recipe for her scrummy dickies. And I think Kath just left much of it as it was, whereas I've changed each step because I've become so reliant on Cookidoo. I like it to tell me each and every step. So it's up to you. That's the point of my Thermomix my way. You amend the recipe to what suits you. Go on, Kath.
So I'll tell you how, because mine wasn't copied from Recipe Community. I never actually uploaded it there. So I typed it in straight. And Tess noted that, you know, my recipe looked like it's got like 6 ingredients listed in one step. And then the process, you know, with all the different weights and then the processing directions. And I love that I can do that in Cookidoo because the way it displays on my Thermomix screen is that it comes up with the scales open and the list of ingredients written beside the scales with the quantities required or weights required. And so I can just add one ingredient, tear the scales, add the next ingredient without having to click screen, you know, to the next screen, the next screen, the next screen on my Thermomix. I just have it on one screen and I add my 6 ingredients. And if I want to do the mental arithmetic, I can. And then I press my processing button and up comes the settings that I have put in. So I actually like that way rather than having to keep pressing my next button on my Thermomix. Massa Broomsley. I don't think you'll find them anywhere. I did a screen snap, Leanne, and sent it to Tess. So I'm happy to do the same with you.
So that's just highlights why we're calling it My Thermomix My Way, is because you can tailor the recipes to how you like to cook. And, you know, that's perfectly okay if you do that. Yeah. So it really is an awesome feature. So the TM5 owners that we do have online, yes, you can use it on Cookidoo, but you won't be able to do the guided cooking on your Thermomix because it doesn't work with the cook key, unfortunately. So, but you know, you're halfway there. And obviously those with 31, it's a whole new world. But you know, we as consultants love helping our customers to get the most out of their machines, and you know, we're always here to support you and teach you and check in on you later and see how you're going. So that's pretty much it, I think, with my presentation, unless anyone's got any further questions.
I just have one, if you don't mind. You did yours on a laptop. Can you do it on an iPad?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
You've done it, have you, Olivia? Fantastic. Yep.
Yeah, I did one for Christmas Day. I actually did a cherry ripe, kind of like rumbles, but with cherry ripe in it. And I did it for Christmas Day and was able to upload it from my iPad onto Cookidoo.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah. No,
That's fabulous. I'm just going to have a look at the chat and make sure.
Oh, and can I just ask, as a 31 owner who's never used Cookidoo, what's the cost and how often do you pay? And, you know,
Yes, of course.
and if you forget to pay, what happens? how does
Fiona,
it work?
excuse me, are you actually thinking about the trade up offer?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So basically, you're entitled to a 30-day free subscription, which you can sign up for now and start to have a play and create playlists, load up your recipes and all that sort of thing. And then when your trade up offer happens from the 14th of February, when you get your Thermomix and you sign in for the first time, you will get a 6-month free subscription. Okay. What I would suggest to each of you, if you are close to your subscription ending, those who have a subscription, I would recommend that you renew it for 12 months before the 1st of Feb, and then you will only pay $49 because Cookidoo version 2.0 is $49 a year, but Cookidoo with the 3.0 is $69. And from the 1st of February, that will be the cost to everyone. It will be $69. So if you're thinking about doing the trade up, I would definitely, first of all, sign up for the 30-day free subscription because that's 1 month for free. I would then, if you are, you know, conscious of $20, I would then do a 12-month subscription for $49 before the 1st of February. And then when you get your Thermomix and you sign into it for the first time, you will have another 6 months land on top of your 13 months you've already got. That would be my advice to you. Okay, so from there on, it basically is now $69 a year because of all these extra features. But, you know, it's less, it's just over $1 a week, which, you know, you compare to Netflix and Apple Music and all that, it's really nothing. And it enables you to meal plan for the week ahead, create shopping lists. It's a total game changer. If you need some organization in your life around meals, oh my goodness, you will love it. You will really love it.
Sorry, Tess. So did you say that you can, when you get your Thermomix, you get the 6 months, but if you subscribe, you also get the does that tack onto your year if you buy it now or not?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
okay,
if you were to purchase your 12 months Cookidoo, say on the 31st of January,
yep.
then you would only pay $49. You would get a year, And if you've got your 30-day subscription for free, do that first.
Yep.
Okay, so you go into cookidoo.com.au, sign
Yep.
up for your 30-day free subscription, and then at the end of the month, pay for another year's subscription. Then when you get your Thermomix, which will be in February, once you sign in your Cookidoo account onto your TM6, it will add another 6 months. So you'll end up with 19
18
months.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you won't have to renew it for
Sounds
19
good.
months. And then it will be 69 thereafter. Does that make sense? If I completely confused everyone? Good.
No, that makes sense. And you can only do, can you do the stuff on the app on your phone? Because I downloaded the app, or do you do it on your laptop?
You mean the editing recipes?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
On your app. No, on the app on your phone.
I'm not sure.
I have the app on my phone, the Cookidoo.
Yep.
And I access it from my phone all the time.
But have you edited a recipe?
Not from my phone, no.
Have you, Olivia?
You probably
Sorry,
can.
not from my phone. I haven't. I have from the iPad, but
I'm just going to try now.
I've
Well,
done
my
it from my
phone
phone,
needs
Tess.
to even
Tess?
check that.
Tess, I've uploaded the photo from my phone. So
Yeah.
since I could edit to add the photo, I'm sure I could do more editing as well from the
I'm
phone.
just checking now.
And Kath, there's a little pencil.
Yep,
Yeah.
you can.
in
There you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, you can't see on my phone. Yes, so you can. There you go. We've learned something new. But I'm old school. I like to do it on the laptop where I've got the big screen. I can see everything. I'm an old fuddy-duddy.
Because it's an app, you should be able to, you can pretty much do it across any platform, whatever you
Yeah.
open it in, and it'd have the same access to be able
That's
to do it.
Beautiful. All right.
And,
Well, thank
and
you
with
all.
the, just
Go on.
one more question. With the import function, does that only go to the recipe community, or can you import from other sites as well?
I believe you can import, like if you've got it saved as a Word document, I
Yeah.
believe you can import from. Kat's looking at me strangely.
I don't think you can, Tess, but you can import from Cookidoo in order to make your own customized alterations to
Version.
Cookidoo
Yeah.
recipes. But I don't think you can import from anywhere other than those two sources at this stage.
Well,
You know
that's really
what?
helpful because
I will check that when I get off, and I will post on this event so that you can see it, Fiona.
yeah, well, even Kath's suggestion there is very helpful because I'm
Yeah.
keto, so I tend to change the recipes up a little bit anyway, and I end up
Mhm.
scribbling on bits of, post-it note and sticking them up everywhere. So that's actually very helpful to know that you can change the Cookidoo ones as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Look, I want to change the spinach and chicken enchiladas as well, because it says to cook the chicken and the spinach in the Varoma. And I'm a bit of a fuss-free kind of girl. I actually just chuck it all in the mixing bowl. So I want to change that recipe so that when I'm out and my kids are cooking dinner, they can do the cheats way as well without having to ring me, Mum, how do you do that?
So Fiona, if you want to get cracking on that method before your TM6 is ordered and arrives in your Cookidoo account, to copy a recipe across from another Cookidoo recipe, when you press the import button, you just cut and paste the URL. The www and all that. Yeah, you know what it is. Good. You just cut and paste that in when you press import recipe, and then off you go. It'll come across, and then you start doing your modifications.
Yep,
Thank you.
beautiful.
There's another way too. I just, whilst listening to Kath, you can actually go into your Cookidoo recipe and click add. When you click add, it brings up a paintbrush, add to created recipes, and then from there you can actually edit.
Isn't that good? We all learn from one another.
That's it.
Thanks, Leanne.
And thank you, Leanne, as is evidenced here, I assume Fiona Kath's your consultant.
No, you are.
I am.
Yes.
I'm sorry. That's a little embarrassing, but we're here to support you. Okay. So yeah, you know, if you have any of
But I'm
those.
from Sydney. I'm your distant person, remember?
Ah,
yeah.
but a different surname, yeah?
Yeah, oh, that's it. See, I'm just
Thank
tricking you. I'm
you.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'm thinking, how do I not say?
Yeah, no. Yeah, you've been very helpful.
Fantastic. I'm so pleased. Yes. Well, you know, you've got my details. Just send me a message anytime. We thrive on helping our customers to get the most out of their Thermomix and to just be, you know, really wrapped with their whole experience, making life easier as it should be. Yeah. Thanks, Fiona. Is anyone else got any questions?
Can I just add, and I don't know if this makes sense, but if you added your own recipe and you wanted to share it, you could do it by, if you added it to the Cookidoo, on your screen, you could do a screenshot and then you could send it to someone. They would then have to import it themselves, but at least they had the recipe to start with. Correct. And could do the same sort of concept. So, okay.
Yeah. But it's only a matter of time, and I'm sure that feature will come in.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's exciting, isn't it? Who's a bit blown away by what Cookidoo 3.0 can do that you didn't know it could do? Yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
All right. Well, the best advice I could give you is to make sure you keep in contact with your consultant and just sort of, you know, ask some questions, because we really don't mind. There's no such thing as a silly question, because as you've seen, we've all learnt from each other tonight, and that's the way we roll. And it's been a pleasure having you on and learning a little bit more about Cookidoo 3.0. If you want a copy of the recording, please just let me know. Shoot me a private message or comment on the actual event, and I will get a copy of the recording to you. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, and good luck for those considering trading up. It's very exciting times.
Thanks, Tess.
Thanks, Tess.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
En haut à gauche, tu fais livre. En haut à gauche. En haut à gauche.